You know what? You've got a great thought leader here in Echo Store. So make sure you're taking advantage of all of the research and the work and the talent that they have there. And thank you for inviting me to be with you guys today. Take care, be safe, be well, be healthy. Forward, I got a phone call that I thought was social engineering. So I almost didn't return the call, saying that President George W. Bush had a position open for a chief information officer. And I thought, I don't know anybody there. I don't know how they know me. This cannot be right. And so I actually called back pretty cheeky because I was pretty convinced that I was going to unveil some social engineers. And it actually was the White House. So I kind of had to apologize. But they said it was like, should be a litmus test for all CIOs that they would be that goal. And you look at the studies, there's a Stanford study that says 88% of the last 12 to 18 months of cyber incidents were due to human error. There was an IBM study done pre-pandemic that said 95% of the 2 years they looked at were due to human error. Why do we talk about tools, process, frameworks all up front, but the last thing we talk about is what is the user story and human-centered design? Future, going passwordless. And creating more of a user story based on behavioral-based analytics and emerging technologies to allow, it's not just biometrics, it's a combination of things that come together and say, yep, I'm pretty sure this is Matt, and I'm okay taking a risk it might not be him based on this level of transaction. Once the person who pretends to be Matt or or is Matt starts to do something more complex or more sensitive, I'm going to ask for a lot more data. And maybe at that point I ask for a password, or maybe I ask for something else. So to me, where we have to evolve our thinking is, yes, it's very important that we train people not to click on links and visit unsafe sites and not to open attachments. But you know what? Most people's jobs, like, I don't know about you, but when I worked for President George W. Bush, if I said, my inbox is just not safe today, sir, so I'm just not even going to open up any emails, I don't think that would have gone over well. So we have to sort of find that right balance of how do we help people be productive, what we can do to protect against the misuse of the Internet of Behaviors, of biometrics, but also be prepared for anything that impacts your operational resiliency, recoverability, and reliability. That is your out of band, encrypted storage and backup. We did this at the White House. We hired an adult learning expert to help us figure out how can we in 5 minutes or less, teach people good digital hygiene. And one of the things they said is sometimes telling people the things you will never do actually sticks with them better than telling them all the things that are legitimate. So just saying, hey, we'll never do these things. Then people go, my CEO would never do this, so that's not him. And then thinking about those different things you could do to create those safety nets, those alerts and warnings. End user education awareness training is helpful if you can keep it interesting, fresh, short, and frequent. Not once a year, here's 2 hours of training, and your boss is going to get mad at you if you're late doing it. Keep it fresh, keep it interesting, keep it short and frequent, can really go a long way. You have your own development shop or rely upon third-party shops for development, asking them who's doing the trust but verify on code builds, who's doing the trust but verify that when you're using open source codes and widget, and you're integrating those into the build, that you really know that it's secure by design. Tell people is having stored your backups out of band, where criminals, if they get access to your network, can't look for your backups first and lock them up. So out of band, not accessible that way, encrypted with some type of a multi-factor authentication. Maybe it requires Matt and Nathan have to get on a video conference and they've got pictures of you guys and you guys got code words, something that